Welcome back. Now, we've been looking at what happened over the weekend. The bigger question now is what comes next. With escalating hostilities between the United States and Iran and retaliatory strikes reported across parts of the Gulf, concerns are growing over regional stability and the economic impact. To help us understand the risks and what they could mean for the region and beyond, we're joined by Azmi Hassan, fellow at the Malaysia National Council of Professors. Azmi, thank you for joining us. Now, I'd like to begin with the death of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. He was Iran's highest authority for decades. In simple terms, what does his passing mean for Iran's stability and for the wider region, Prof?
Well, the United States and Israel hoping that with Ali Khamenei gone, there will be instability and the people will uprise protesting. But again, I think if we look at the Iran constitution, they are very, very specific in terms of if the great leader, the supreme leader is gone, what's the position that they need to take. But currently, Elaine, there is a three-man council headed by the president of Iran, Masoud, that's taking care of the country right now. And at the same time, 88 I would say, Council of Ulama or Shura of Ulama is trying to pick up one person that will replace or that will become the supreme leader. So I think Iran is stable right now, Elaine.
Now, that's good to know, Prof. Now, from his death, let's move into diplomacy. Now, for years, tensions over Iran's nuclear program were managed through talks and sanctions. After these strikes, does diplomacy between Tehran and Washington still have a future?
But again, Elaine, a few hours ago, Trump put out a video saying that Iran want to talk, whether we want to believe it or not, but it's going to be very difficult. After what all has been happened, there will be some discussion. What I believe in Elaine, is that Trump, from day one, when the discussion started, he want to strike Iran, no matter what the discussion come out, for the meeting come out from the United States and also Iran. But I think this is a ploy of Mr. Trump trying to lay the blame on Iran, because the first thing he said that why United States and Israel struck Iran is because there is an imminent danger, which is a blatant lie in it.
Now, it sounds like history repeating itself, Azmi. Now, Trump's framing, I think the big question here is how Washington is framing this, right? President Donald Trump described the operation as ending a decades-long threat. How risky is that position politically for the US and militarily for the region, Azmi?
Yeah, Elaine, a lot believe why Trump did what he did is because of the midterm election coming this November. Before the strike, there was a poll asking American whether they want America to be involved. 60% said no, they don't want to be involved. But after they have involved, there is no poll coming in. But I think a lot of Americans are suspicious. The real reason why Mr. Trump, their president, strike in this particular case, it is because of the domestic political reason, which is the midterm election this November.
Now, Azmi, let's take a closer look at the mantra that's been on the lips of US and Israel, the nuclear question. One of the key issues being raised is whether removing Iran's top leader actually weakens its nuclear capability, or could it push Tehran to accelerate the program?
It all depends who the Majlis Shura or the clerics pick to become the next supreme leader. Maybe we can get a more moderate supreme leader. I think that would be good for Iran and also the world. Or maybe to the extreme, we can have a substitute that are more extreme, because the program, the nuclear program, the ballistic missile program started from the late Ali Khamenei. He started this particular program that Iran should have their own nuclear program. So depending on who's the next person that will take over the supreme leader. So I'm hoping that a more moderate that can talk with United States in this case.
Now, we're seeing retaliation reported across several Gulf states. How does this play out from here? And are we at the early stages of a wider regional war, or can this still be contained, Prof?
I think so far it can be contained because other Gulf states that have been, been struck by Iran say that they will only intercept. They will not retaliate. They only retaliate in terms of intercepting missiles coming from Iran. So that I think that particular part, I think it's been contained between Israel, United States, and Iran in this case. But Elaine, if these Gulf states take a stand that they need to attack, they need to stop it by attacking Iran, then a full blown out war will be happening in that particular region, Elaine.
And that's not going to benefit the civilians and the wider region itself. Now, finally, help us step back and look at the bigger picture. In very simple terms, are we witnessing a turning point in Middle East geopolitics? And what are the most realistic scenarios in the weeks ahead, Azmi?
Yeah, I think it will be a turning point whether Iran will be obliterated or there will be a changing of supreme leader. I think the Gulf states need to think that United States will do whatever United States want without considering the advice from the Gulf state. Because before this, Gulf state did advise Mr. Trump, do not attack Iran because an attack on Iran will be an attack on their nation too. But I guess in this particular case, the turning point, Elaine, is that we just cannot believe United States. How pessimistic is the lookout? But I think we just cannot believe United States.
Thanks, Azmi. Thanks for weighing in. Azmi Hassan on the question of what the war means for the wider region. Next, to all Malaysians, a reminder, Malaysians residing in or travelling to the affected countries and to families here at home with loved ones overseas, Wisma Putra is urging you to stay informed and remain in contact with our diplomatic missions. If you are in the region, please register your presence immediately through the e-consular system at 𝐬�consular.kln.gov.my. Follow the official social media pages of the Malaysian diplomatic mission in your host country for real-time local updates. And if you require urgent assistance, contact your nearest Malaysian diplomatic mission or reach the Ministry of Foreign Affairs directly through its channels. And for immediate assistance, you can reach out to your closest diplomatic mission or contact the ministry directly through these channels on your screen. We'll be back with more global updates. This is The World on Bernama TV. Welcome back. Bernama's Nadia Abdul-Latif is currently in Cairo after her return flight was cancelled amid regional airspace disruptions following the recent US and Israeli strikes on Iran. She is in Egypt attending a conference on rare diseases in her capacity as president of the Malaysian Rare Disease Association. Nadia joins us now from Cairo. Nadia, thank you for speaking with us. First of all, are you okay? And thank you for reaching out and offering to help us with updates while you're there. We really appreciate it. But tell us, what's the situation like in Cairo right now, Nadia?
Thanks. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And Ramadan Kareem to you, Elaine. We definitely did not expect this. I would have to definitely give thanks to the Ministry of Health of Egypt for being such an amazing host and making sure that all of the delegates remained safe. So I am safe. Thank you very much. Here in Cairo, Ramadan is being observed, so the pace is a lot slower. I'm actually in Old Cairo. Unfortunately, I can't show you what's happening outside, but I'm right in front of the Nile right now. Hopefully, we'll be able to show you more later. But the situation on the ground in Cairo, at least, is calm and it's safe. People are observing Ramadan. So the city really comes to life closer to evening during iftar, where people start going to the mosque and people start coming out. But having said that, of course, the scene in the airports or the scenes in the lobbies of hotels are a definitely different thing, as we've been speaking to quite a number of travelers who are stuck just like us, and everybody's anxious in trying to figure out when their next flight is going to be, because a lot of them have faced, like us, at least 2 flight cancellations prior. We've been here for about 36 hours now trying to get back home to lovely Malaysia.
Nadia, you've been speaking to people on the ground. What are Egyptians saying about the conflict and the rising tensions in the region? What's the general mood there?
I think the general mood for the average Egyptian is business as usual, because I don't think they are necessarily keeping up to date with what's happening from the White House as well as from Israel and from Iran. However, for a lot of the employees and the people who are in the working world here in Egypt, of course, they are keeping tabs of the tension. It has caused quite a bit of uncertainty in many different things, especially in travel. As you know, we just got reports yesterday that Dubai International Airport was strike, and we've had reports that it's been strike twice, with at least 4 staff members that have been injured. Of course, recent reports on Sharjah Commercial Center, the mall, has also been affected. So those who are actually planning their route back to their home countries have had to really think hard about when is the safe time or the safe window to travel, because if you look at all of the flights cancelling out of the Gulf states, a lot of airlines are actually either rerouting or cancel indefinitely until further notice. So hotels, airports, people waiting in lines to refresh their apps. Of course, ticket prices are surging at the moment, because it's almost like buying lottery. You can see second, not even minute by minute, that the prices are going up by the thousands just to get out of wherever they're at. In our case, we have had to actually, we've spoken to people on the ground. Last night, I spoke to a lady who is from Jakarta, who's also stranded here. And she just messaged me this morning saying that her flight back to Jakarta is also cancelled. So she's waiting in the wings. So a lot of uncertainty, especially for those who have had to incur extra costs in trying to figure out how long they're going to be here until they're able to fly out.
And on that note, is there any indication of what that might look like? Is it in the coming hours, in the coming days?
In very simple terms, Elaine, we don't know. Parts of the Middle East airspace have either been completely closed or closed temporarily. We've had updates from Emirates that they are planning to, or Saudi that's planning to open up some of their routes that have been on suspension at the moment. But major transits along the Gulf that we've normally seen that connects to Asia, Europe, Africa, and North America are one of the routes that people are choosing as an alternative to fly instead of Doha, instead of Abu Dhabi, instead of Dubai. But this hub, of course, have reduced operations significantly, or as I mentioned, the price surge is a problem for a lot of travelers. So it's either cancelling certain routes entirely, rerouting aircraft around restriction airspace, and we've seen airlines flying around, or it's diverting passengers to alternative hubs where it's safer and it's more possible. So we've seen people rerouting through either Oman or parts of Saudi Arabia or down through Ethiopia and Africa, and those that can have been going through Turkey, as well as some of the other European sectors.
So much, Nadia. Thank you for sharing what you're seeing and hearing on the ground. We wish you a safe and smooth journey home. Bernama TV's Nadia Abdulatif from the English Programs Desk is currently in Cairo following flight cancellations linked to regional airspace disruptions. And a reminder again to all Malaysians residing in or travelling to the affected countries and to families here at home with loved ones overseas. Wisma Putra is urging you to stay informed and remain in contact with our diplomatic missions. If you're in the region, please register your presence immediately through the e-consular system at 𝐬consular.kln.gov.my. Follow the official social media pages of the Malaysian diplomatic mission in your host country for real-time local updates. And if you require urgent assistance, contact your nearest Malaysian diplomatic mission or reach the Ministry of Foreign Affairs directly through its channels. And for immediate assistance, you can reach out to your closest diplomatic mission or contact the ministry directly through these channels. And that's all the time we have. This has been The World on Bernama TV. I'm Elaine Rabla. Thanks for watching.